Hello and welcome to the third podcast from the Young Theatre series. For those of you who do not remember, which maybe many of you, my name is Paul Murray, and today I am joined by my good friend Ana Romih, and we are, where are we?
We are in Elk,
Elk. And for those of you who don't know, Elk is in
Poland.
Yes, and we are here under a severe weather warning. Tomorrow there will be maybe big winds and everything, so maybe Elk won't be here tomorrow, so we're recording this for posterity. Yes, so this is part of the podcast series of Young Theatre Project and Young Theatre on the Move Project.
Yes.
And we have been moving around and doing young theatre-y things for the last 2 days, which has been great. And I wanted to take this opportunity to, with this third podcast, to speak to a dance specialist, if we can call her that, because she does many
Doctor
things.
in dance.
Doctor in dance, a dance doctor, to tell us about this crossover between improvisation, theatre, improvisation, movement, improvisation, dance, and where are these lines, imaginary lines. But as I always like to do, I always like to start from the personal, if I may, and ask you, like all of us, we got involved in improvisation because it was something that mattered to us.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us briefly how you got involved? Why did you do it? Why do you still do it? When
With
did you start
dance?
doing it? Yeah.
I think it was a calling. When I was 5, 6 years old, my mother put me into this class of hip hop things when everybody were in a circle, we were all doing the same things.
Okay.
Like very boring stuff, and I immediately started to cry. And I didn't want to do it anymore. They had to call my mother, and I said, "Don't ever bring me here again." 2 or 3 years later, I found this, I would say, a temple of creative movement school. And immediately when I started there, by this improvisation, moving, feeling, expressing my emotions through movement, I said, this is it. This is what I'm gonna do. This is it. I knew when I was 9 years old, I'm gonna go outside to study, and since then I'm doing this. It's been now 21 years.
And you have the same feeling when you're doing it now?
Yes, I cannot do anything else. I mean, not that I cannot, but I don't want to. Even though it's hard sometimes and everything that comes with it, this is, I think it's my, how do you say, when you're called to do something, and then my calling.
Yeah, so it's unavoidable.
Yes, I tried to run away from it in some part of my life, but I was, no, this is it.
And so what does your working week look like?
My working week looks like I'm crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I start in the morning with office stuff, and then in the afternoon I start teaching till the evening, and then it goes every day the same. Or if I'm doing my performances, then I'm also rehearsing in the morning and not doing so much office stuff. So it's quite busy, and in the weekends we usually perform if we're lucky.
And you are running your own school, you're working with somebody else?
Yeah, I work where I started to dance, where I started to, I have this, I would say she's my mother, because she actually raised me through this movement, spiritual, everything that I know. Well, not everything, but most of it that I know, she taught me. So she's also the director of the school, and now we are running it together. With Sasha, yeah.
Okay. And so you I relate to this experience in terms of when I walked into my first, I found myself first in the drama classes, I would say. It felt like I was home, and that it had probably as many rules as outside, but all the rules I agreed with. So it was actually a freedom for me.
Now that I think back on it, at the time when I was 9 years old, I kind of, my parents are divorced and everything, and my father is gay. After, I don't know how that happened, but
quite a lot to deal with.
And this was my escape. This was where I felt safe. This was my safety place to go and explore and be with the movement and to create, to be creative, to be into another world, because I'm also the only child. And it felt I always had to escape on my own into other worlds, into another dimensions, and this felt like home for me. Exactly.
And do you think it's significant that it's no words involved?
I don't know, maybe because I didn't have someone to talk to. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe
I don't know.
Because with the typical therapy, because I think that for me as well, it brought me a lot of peace. But none of the drama work was about issues I had. It was all about escape and improvising and everything like this. So the content wasn't important, and we spoke about this on the last podcast about, is content important? And typically you would say, well, therapy is about analyzing things, but how can movement be therapeutic in that sense? How?
I think movement is therapeutic. How?
Can you put it into words? I mean, it's tricky putting a non.
I mean, if I go from my own perspective now, or if I connect this to this pandemic time when I got really crazy, or working out, moving for 6 hours per day just to stay sane, I would say that I escape from my own thoughts while I move. That's my, I would say, technique. Of dance is my escape, dance is my ease.
And do you, now you spend a lot of your time passing that on to other people?
Yes.
Why? Are you, well, yeah, why? Yeah, let's go with why. Why? Because
it helped me grow up into who I am, because it helped me shape the way I am to understand myself better. I think we live in a world where people, maybe it's just my opinion, don't understand their own emotions, don't understand their own bodies, or they don't listen to their own emotions and bodies. And I think there's, well, I have this feeling now that there's a lot of evil in the world. And I through this moving and improvisation and creating and being creative and using imagination and looking things from a different perspective, I could say it made me a better person. It made me, or even made me understand things better. Or to just try to understand things better.
And you're giving other young people an opportunity that you had?
Yes, I'm trying to teach them how to think differently, because I think in a school system there's a little space for that. There's you have to do this, you have to do this, we all have to do the same thing. And I think it's very important to be innovative, creative in their own minds, and to use that in your own life, to apply that into everyday life. I think it's very important, especially in the times that we live in.
Yes. And do you think that freedom is not offered in more strict forms of dance, hip hop, ballet, very fixed, choreographed pieces? Does it not offer the same release for those people, or is it a different thing?
I think it's a different method. It's a different way of going into the movement and into the process. I mean, we have two kinds of classes per week. Like when they get older, like 7, 8 years, they get 2 classes per week. Before that, they have 1. So one is like a technique, where we do have the combinations where everybody do the same, and we try to extend our arms. How are the arms? Try to be very aware of your body and stuff like that. And then we have another class. There's more creative base. But they are all mixed, no? And I think it's just the importance of how you use the technique, I think the technique is to put your body, to be aware of your body,
Okay.
to train your body, because your body usually remembers more than your brain.
Okay.
So it's just a way of remembering, keeping your memory alive, and training the body, because we have to be in a shape of always knowing how to move the body, to be conscious of not being injured also, you know?
Is that relatable to, in order to be able to improvise, you need to have, you need to be able to speak, you need to have words. And if you don't have that physical vocabulary, you're not as free to move.
Yes, it's you are a little bit limited, but when they're very like children, when they're young, you can see who has the potential of being and wanting to be creative in the movement. And then you or me as a pedagogue, then I try to use all the tools that I have to support that, let's say, talent that they have.
And can you, for somebody who has no experience in doing this kind of work, I mean, you can't show us right here because it's a very small screen, but what kind of categories of exercises are you doing with them then in order to encourage their creativity? I mean, someone like me, I mean, for example, I never felt, I'm sort of typical example of someone say, well, I can't, I mean, I can move, I have rhythm, but I can't dance. I don't feel, it's not my...
Everybody can dance.
Okay, so that's your first...
Yeah, everybody can dance.
Okay.
So, because we are, well, I'm doing the techniques where we are using a lot of imaginations and we're going through the stories. So, for example, we are improvising, and they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to do all the same, but let's move like the wind.
Okay.
We're all moving like the wind. They know what the wind is, and then they do their own perspective on how the wind moves, and that's the best what they can do.
Okay.
And then maybe on that I can try to have but what if the wind is fast? What if the wind is slow?
Okay.
What if the wind is frozen?
Okay.
This kind of technique that you also use in the improv theater, we apply that to the movement. It's basically all through the story.
Okay.
And then we put that into the movement, and then the choreography happens.
And then it becomes removed from the story that it necessarily came from.
Yeah, and also if you make a choreography, for children, better to understand, the most important for me is that they know what they're doing.
Okay.
That they're not just like, we're dancing, but why are you moving your hands? You are a bird, you are a flower, you are a sun. And that they are standing behind their movement, that they understand it. It doesn't have to be perfect in terms of technique, but as long as it's coming from them, that's the most important thing.
Okay. And so you're using improvisation to develop their skills, to exercise their creativity, to move towards choreography, but not in the performance itself.
We use improvisation in the performances. It depends on the choreography. There are some parts that are set. There are some cues that we, as a group, we decide, okay, here we stand and we do this. Here, but most of the time the movement is improvised. There are little things or inserts inside where it's like set choreography. But most of the time it's through story or the concept. We usually do the concept of the choreography first.
What does that mean?
That means that we pick a theme. That we, for 2 or 3 months, we are researching that theme. Such as, let's say, love. What is love? What kind of love we know? And then maybe everybody does a movement through love. How does love move? Does love move you? When does it move you? And then maybe everybody writes a story about love or love, how they fell in love. And then they try to translate that into their own language through movement. And then me as a choreographer,
Yeah.
I see what works, and then together we decide how this love choreography is going to look like.
Okay.
And
you decide together on that.
Together, yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's say together.
Yeah.
But I'm the boss.
Yes. At the end of the day, you have to take responsibility.
Yes, exactly.
And when you face, I mean, you know, you're obviously skilled and you're doing it a long time. When you see, and you say you see when the children have promise and that you can see when they have this potential.
Yeah.
But presumably you take a lot of different children with a lot of different abilities.
Yes, of course.
So when you see somebody, not necessarily like me, but somebody who you say he's never going to be.
No, I never say that.
No.
No.
What do you do then?
You know what? I think that the best pedagogues and mentors are the ones that know, even if they don't know how to move, to find a specialty that they are good in.
Okay. Yeah.
That they're good in it, and or to go against that, or to support that. Then it's a choice, you know, to pick up what they're good at it, to see in them, even that they have two left or two right hands.
Okay.
Maybe use that, two right hands and two left hands. Use their not knowing how to do things.
So this form gives you the freedom to do that, as opposed to ballet, which is like, okay, go home, never come back.
Yes, in ballet they would say no, your legs are too short. You can do it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's whoever comes and has a will to dance or to create through movement. I think as a pedagogue, it's my job to find a way to make them look good.
Okay.
And to bring or to put them on a path or walk together with them through a process that they will understand better things, their disabilities or abilities or talents or whatever they need.
That's familiar with this old adage in improv theatre about your main job as the actor is to make the other person look good. And it's the same as the choreographer, actually. Your job is to make them all feel and look good.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, for me, it's very important that they are confident in what they're doing, that they know and understand what they're doing on stage, even if it's not the perfect running or walking. As long as they believe in the walking through snow, I believe it too.
And so the different bodies, the different personalities you have,
different ages.
Okay. And what ages are you working with?
From 7 to 50.
Oh, really?
Yes, I also 5 years ago I started with the mothers of our dancers, because they were like,
how did that happen?
They were like persuading us to also start a class for them, because this is so great, you know, when children come home, they're like, wow, I did this, and they see how they're developing through this, and they want to do the same. But I can tell you that sometimes they're worse than children.
In what way?
You know, they think sometimes they know everything. And a lot of times they say, no, I'm too old and I'm gonna do this, you know, like things like that. And I needed 2 or 3 years to find their language, because with children I'm already used to how to, let's say, manipulate them.
Yes.
And with them I had to find a new way of persuading them to do stuff.
Okay.
And now they are also performing and stuff, so it's amazing.
And do you find, I mean, you're obviously drawing on your experience, and you're drawing on experience of your colleagues and things like that, and you're offering, I mean, part of this project is for us to offer these methods to other people, to encourage them to use these methods, maybe even, you know, teachers who are non-specialists in dance. But you as a specialist, where do you get your inspiration from? How do you keep your
life?
Yes.
Life. whatever I have questions about, or maybe the situation in a day or a life, or whatever interests me, or when I see a group and I say we should explore emotions. We should explore, it's from an everyday life.
Okay.
For sure.
And I mean, a technical.
And also, sometimes I also get inspiration from them. I ask them, what is your interest at the moment? What do you want to research? What is it that you want to talk about? What is it that you want to, let's find together something to be all interested in.
And how easy is that to find?
Depends on the day, month, year. Depends.
Okay.
But most of the time, yeah. Or everybody just writes a personal story, and then we pick up the lines or something that we see there's a connection between that. I don't know, there are different methods we use, but we are researching together. And I also I'm doing sometimes the same thing to a different age groups,
Okay.
to see what's the difference, what happens,
Okay.
what are the clickers, the don'ts, the do's, and I'm all the time learning with them. It's not like I know everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. I come to the class, I read something, I prepare myself something, and then in the doing together with them, I'm like, yeah, wow, this is great. I'm discovering new things. Wow, this looks.
You're
really
sharing
great.
that with them. You're telling them that.
Yes, of course.
And they're responding how? Because that's not normal for a teacher to say.
They're accepting it.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they also ask me a question, and I said, sorry, but at the moment I don't have the answer. I don't know.
Okay.
And I think that's really important, that there's no right or wrong in the way I teach, in the way I try to communicate and give information, that there's no right or wrong.
Yeah.
This could be better, or maybe try to look at this through another angle.
Yeah.
What if you try this? But there's not wrong or right.
Okay.
This is your way, this is my way. And this is the most important thing also, that they learn that mistakes, of course, they exist. And even if they do make a mistake, they learn from that.
Which is very different to maybe what they experience in schools.
Exactly. And I think they are so stressed about these schools and system and the pressure they are under. I mean, they need more of self-expression and freedom in how they perceive the outside world also.
There's a lovely story about I'm trying to remember his name, and maybe I'll get it by the end, but it's a story about he's a famous professor of pedagogy, and he was saying that he did a big study of the use of theatre and dance in schools in the 1970s in the UK. And he heard one story about a girl who was having a lot of problems at school because she couldn't sit still, she couldn't concentrate, and she was given all sorts of different diagnoses. And she had the luck to be put in front of, I think, a psychologist, and the parents were looking for a diagnosis and medication to calm this girl down. And luckily, they went in front of somebody who prescribed dance classes. Wow. And the woman turned out to be one of the leading contemporary dancers in the UK. Okay. And I think that that's, about Ken Johnson, is his name, I remember. Okay. And he's talking about different ways in which we learn and different ways in which we develop. And clearly this, even if I don't understand this freedom, this physical freedom that you talk about, that you feel, I very rarely feel it, but I understand it in you because I can relate it to where I feel my freedom myself. And so it's very interesting to me that when you're working with different groups, different ages, different abilities, that you're about how you encourage people down that road, and those that just grab it and take it. Clearly, this is their way of learning, and then others get up.
And I think it's just where to put your focus also. For example, if this girl was like unrestless and not be able to sit still, they just had to shift her focus.
Yeah.
Where to put all this energy.
Which goes back to what you said at the beginning about like what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Use
exactly.
that.
Exactly. Use what you have. This is very important.
Yeah.
Sometimes I also get into my own mind stuck and into this how to make this choreography, and I'm like a lot of shunku bunko something, and I'm like, okay, stop. Less is more. Okay. Just start with walking. Let's just walk. Let's just breathe. Let's see what happens from there. Yeah, okay. And most of the time, when I take myself back from my crazy ideas, how things should look or feel or whatever, and how should they do it, works better if less is more. This is my motto. Less is more. Yes.
And do you and for people who are interested in dance, interested in movement, but are in other professions or in other teaching professions, how do they get involved? How do they start using it? What? I don't know, it's giving advice, it's kind of tacky because it depends. But I mean, how do you envisage them going from where they are now to where they want to be? I mean, how do they?
You mean the pedagogues?
Yeah.
The pedagogues that I was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a challenge because in this kind of work, I think we should have like a year meetings to see really what happened, and if they use the methods that we propose, the tools that to just check in on them. To be able to answer that. But I think everybody that comes to, especially in this project, to our workshops or something, they take something.
Because you're working with you're offering these workshops to teachers with the aim of the teachers using it in the
classroom. Yes, also. So I think they get something, or it's the energy, or it's the different thinking, or it's just using one little exercise that we propose in some way. I think they do it, or they wish to do it. I don't know. There's I believe that there's something that moves them. I believe that there's something they can use, if not in a classroom, then while they're cooking. I don't know. You know?
Yeah. And
I have to believe that, because if I don't, then why am I doing it?
Why are you doing it? Yeah. But I think you believe that you can inspire others like you inspire yourself.
Yes, yes, I do, because this is I in the last 2 years I kind of lost, let's say, not hope, but what to believe or what are my goals in life. But this is the only thing that stays. This is what I believe in. Yeah. And this is what I'm gonna believe in, no matter what. No matter the times, no matter the situation, this is because it always helps me to go, when I'm making performances, go through the process of your own questions for myself. When I'm going through the process, it helps me understand better the way I am, why am I like this, and to add that to the movement. With the movement, it's even beneficial for my health.
But it remains beneficial for your health.
And the mind.
All of these years since you started doing it. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been really nice to talk to you.
Thank you too.
And anything else you want to add? Like at the end of the interview? Anything else you'd like to? Any questions? No. Anything else you want to say?
I want to say that, I think the believing is a really big part of doing and being and living. And I think we have to start believing this, keep on believing in whatever, just believe in something.
An optimistic view.
Yes.
I agree.
This is the only way to see the light.
We'll leave it on that.
And also to share it with others. I think sharing.
It's where I find this, where that place in the room, improvising the other people, is always a place of optimism.
Yeah.
Because I think always the
and
humanity
to live and laugh and dance, that's the point of life.
Yeah.
Come on. Even it doesn't feel like it sometimes, but just do it.
Yeah, cool.
So thank you.
Thank you very much. It's been delightful. I hope you found things of interest. I certainly have, and I'll see you for the next podcast. Until then, enjoy, be brave, and keep doing it. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.